Welcome to Henry's Off-Road Travels. In this series, join Sharon and me as our long-term plans of crossing Australia is finally realised. We have 4 months to explore and find out whether the West is really the best. We travel with friends in our new Land Cruiser 300 and fully off-road caravan. I hope you enjoy our travels as much as we do. Today we are leaving Broken Hill, the tourist park. We are splitting up with the Mybergs. They are going to Mildura. And they're staying there for a few days. We, on the other hand, are going to do some free camping. We're going to go to Lake Lascelles, which is further south of Mildura, and we'll do an overnight camp there before we head to the south coast towards Mount Gambier, which is where Tom and his family grew up, so we're keen to sort of just see that part of the world. We'll be there for a few days, and then we'll make our way up the South Australian coast to Adelaide from there. In our entire trip, this is the first place I've noticed a lot of flies. So Lake Lascelles, maybe. May have a few flies out there as well. But I'm hoping that the further we go south, the less chance there is, because it's going to be too cold. But we'll see what the weather brings and what the fly levels like. On the road for, I don't know, 5-6 hours, something like that today, so not too long a day, but we're leaving early. My bag's still snoozing. That's alright, they can do that. They weren't planning to leave for another couple of hours, so they've got a short trip, couple of hours really for them. We are off to Lake Lascelles. Nice caravan park.
Lovely caravan park. It's quite new, I think.
Relatively new, yes.
Look at this, the fire pit. Obviously they didn't have that going before.
They got units in the back as well. I noticed yesterday they got barbecues for every unit.
Yeah, they do.
Weber's or something like that. Those are the units I was talking about before in the background. It's very swishy looking.
Yeah, the kitchen was good. The outdoor area where you could go and sit and watch TV.
And the toilets, or at least the showers, had their own personal ensuite and
vanity. No, it was good because it had like a wall between it, so your clothes didn't get wet.
And it's only about 10 minutes out of Broken Hill, so not too far out. Probably not even 10 minutes. Probably about 10 k's, so about 5 minutes, 7 minutes. So this is the southern part of Broken Hill. I think after 2 or 3 days Sharon will be tired of this place. Maybe. She wanted to have a look at Pro Hart and his exhibitions or museum. Or Flying Doctor experience. up to about 33 kilometres an hour at Charon speed. Although towards the end there, it almost had a collision with another car in our cell, so it could have been a very nasty outcome. The Murray-Darling confluence, the meeting of the Murray River and the Darling River. Darling River in New South Wales, Murray River along the New South Wales and Victorian border. So the one in front of me is the Darling River over here, and just around the corner is the Murray River, which goes all the way down to Adelaide. So on the other side is Victoria, and this side's New South Wales. Murray River has more water than the Darling, which is a little bit more browner. Murray's fed by higher rainfalls and snow from Darling Range, or from mountains further up. And the town of Wentworth, established in 1859, became a major river port. And basically the river boats contributed to the boom in wool on the pastoral stations. Back in the days, Charles Sturt would have just floated his boat up here. Actually no, he's probably more likely to have come up here. And then Aboriginals on the far side there, on the Victorian side, would have seen them and been very curious with their activities back in those days. Not really clean water up the Darling, hence why Broken Hill don't use it anymore. Not sure it's been tossed in or not. Victoria over there. New South Wales over here. For the healthy Wentworthians and visitors, got lots of exercise equipment for those who are able to brave the cold.
Henry's first lot of exercise in nearly 3 months.
Please, haven't stopped exercising. This is a body Hercules would be happy with.
Oh, yeah, right.
Yeah.
Easy enough.
The elliptical trainer.
Yeah, just like the picture I got.
Easy wheezy.
Pictures don't
You can
lie.
do one-handed as well. Not a bad piece of equipment. Ray Ferguson tractor, used to save homes and businesses during the floods of 1956, when the two rivers, Murray and Darling, rose to their highest levels. Wentworth, named after the New South Wales explorer and politician William Charles Wentworth, was the busiest inland port in New South Wales and considered the site for the Australian capital. But they didn't want it to be either in New South Wales or in Victoria, which is sort of in the middle and quite separate, independent. So the ACT was it. A place called Canberra.
Oh, that's what we saw that time.
This is the Lock and Weir. This is where the boats can come through. Yep, come through here. And they drop it. and then they carry through to the other side. Let's have a look, see whether we can get through.
Dirt passed this spot on the 23rd of January 1830.
So Murray River, it's the eastern end and the western end, and in between there's I suppose a displacement in height between the waters, and the lock has been created for ferries and other boats travelling upstream and downstream to be able to deal with the change in heights and obviously preserve water up here as well for local communities. There's a lock system in place, so basically boats would come in here. This water you can see in here is lower than what's on the other side of this wall. So a boat coming up from South Australia, it's the same height at the moment. Trust me. It's the same height. And then the water next door over there would be used to fill this lock in to that height that you can see on the side there, and allow, so the boat would come into here, this would then fill up to that height, and then once it's filled to that height, these doors would open, those doors would be closed, these doors would open, and then the boat would continue on its merry way, and vice versa. So that's the first time I've seen a lock system in Australia. It's number 10, so obviously there's 9 others further down the track. Yeah, interesting. And you can probably just see it, but that's the Murray River over there, and then the Darling River just to the west, to the left of it. So that is the Wentworth Weir and Lock, number 10. Well, that's looking pretty impressive. So this is the western end of the weir. Pelicans all hanging around, sitting, staying warm, probably waiting for a nice feed. Must be plenty of food out there. So the boats would come in here. They would wait for the gates to open into the lock once the water level is at the right height, and then they'd sail through, wait for the lock to fill up, and then they progress. You can see a red light there, which obviously means that don't proceed at this point in time. So yeah, that's what it's all about. And that's the Murray River flowing through to South Australia. This is the Darling River. A little bit greener. Should be able to get down. A few houseboats along it. Yeah, not as clean and healthy as it should be. Darling River.
So this is one of those.
This is the bridge.
Boats to go through.
And bridge that lifts up. So all your little houseboats there. There should be a paddle steamer as well somewhere. So at the moment we are skirting on the New South Wales border. And we will be crossing shortly the Murray River, which means we are then heading into Victoria. Not sure why we got a red light. Testing. Stop here to activate signal. Okay. Beep. Obviously the bridge itself is only a one-way. And this is the bridge that would be crossing the Murray River.
Yeah, it is Murray River.
So good, isn't she? That's why she comes with, she's a navigator.
That's right.
But
You
she's
wouldn't know where you were or how to pronounce things.
She's better off though driving, to be honest. Navigation is not always a strong point. Apparently all north, south, east and west point in the same direction pretty much.
Yeah.
See, there you go. And she was in the army.
Leave the army alone.
So we are crossing the Murray River. That's a little bit milky as well. There we go. We are now officially in the state of Victoria. And look at the quality of the roads. Considerably different. More vineyards, younger vines, the older vines, mature vines. A little town just out of Mildura in Victoria, and we're checking out Big Lizzie. That's the water tank, but Big Lizzie's over here. Whatever Big Lizzie's meant to be, we'll find out. Big Lizzie is a tractor of sorts. Not sure what it is. 34 feet, 18 feet high. Weighs 45 tonnes. Not sure exactly what it's used for. Agricultural, possibly.
The machine with 2 wagons, and their intention was to cart wool from the outback stations in Broken Hill area.
So a wool carting machine. What was that? It was too hazardous.
Yeah.
So the machine and trailers were used for carting wheat in the Moorbeen area. Each load carried about 899 bags of wheat. In 1920 was commissioned by the government to clear trees and scrub in what was to be the largest soldier settlement in Australia. There you go. It's had a little bit of a life. Pretty big machine back in its heyday. The Big Lizzie story. Size of a house. History of this area, Mildura, Red Cliffs, Mildura, Erimple, Melbourne, Uyen, Auyen. We have left Car Walk, which is just outside of the last place we went to. Very much agricultural area out here. Railway over there. Are these areas familiar to you?
Not this particular area, but Auyen.
Uyen.
Auyen.
O-U-Y-E-N is oo, like ouch. Auyen.
Auyen.
Auyen. Oh. What about Boonuna? Boonuna. Weary, power nap now.
Like that?
Yeah. They probably forgot to say stop, pull over, and then power nap. So, road's not too bad. At least this section's not too bad. As soon as we crossed the river, though, it was a little bit average. Got about 127 k's to go to our destination, Lake Lascelles, which is about an hour and a half maybe, probably just under that. So it's just on 3 o'clock. Back to Eastern States time. Broken Hill seems to be the only place that is on a different time in New South Wales.
The reason was to do with the train, because their supplies came from South Australia. So they made it South Australian time for all their supplies.
Interesting history behind all of that, despite Broken Hill being in New South Wales.
They tried to become South Australian.
They did, but the New South Wales government said no, simply because of the royalties they got from the mining that they got out of the town. So they didn't want to give that to South Australia, so they decided to hold on to Broken Hill.
They compromised and let them go to the other time zone.
Yes, but I don't think Broken Hill, despite the amount of money that they generated, probably didn't get a lot from the New South Wales government at the end of the day, so in terms of services and stuff. So yeah, interesting little bit of story there. At least that's coming from one of the locals.
Yeah.
How are you? 35.
Well done.
Was it?
Oyen.
I said Oyen.
Oyen. Oh, no, it's Oyen.
She said it's okay. She said Oyen is okay.
No.
Oyen.
Oyen.
I don't even know where Sharon gets her information from. Let's go with Oyen unless somebody says otherwise.
Oyen.
The prime Mallee lamb.
RV friendly.
Mallee hen is here as well. Silos over there. Town centre is
Painted train, but no
way.
painted silos.
No painted
All the
silos.
graffiti and the carriages.
Barren piece of land out here.
Salt flats.
This area is a little bit reminiscent of Great Southern, the railway line next to the main highway. Not too much in the way of Great Salt Flats, but they do exist out that way as well, a little further south and east. Patchy Wallach. Welcome to Speed. Please slow down. Lascelles.
Yeah, trucks. No. Don't know where these silos are.
Lake Crong Station, or Lake Lascelles. Just trying to find a nice camping spot.
What do you reckon? There, I'll keep going.
You can always go around and come back if you need to.
True.
Find something better. Got some nice green patch up here. So you can park over here.
Here?
It's a nice spot. Maybe just a little further up.
What do you mean? I mean further up around the corner.
Just around there. No, this is probably okay. You're okay.
I'm alright.
Look at that.
Otherwise it's right over there, but this is nice right here.
Exactly. Look at that. Ain't this dandy? Water. Cars there, vans here. Sharon, when she opens the window, she'll be able to see the lake in its glory. Off the road. Got a nice little picnic area. You're okay? Can open the window, you'd see straight out onto the lake. Very nice. Got
Barbecue.
little barbecue, picnic areas.
I got
All
fires.
set up. Little campfires set up. Or not campfires, but little fire
Fire
pits
pits, yeah.
set up. Some people are using them, some people not using it. Certainly worth using on a day like today because it is probably 18 or so, 17, and it's only 5 o'clock in the morning, afternoon. Mother duck. The other side of the lake, bit of a causeway or embankment we're going over. The rest of the lake here, and there's some water corp, probably treatment plant on the other side there. Flies are a little bit
Yes.
They're out there anyway. They're not as bad as where they were back in Broken Hill, but the wind's probably keeping them at peace. Very family friendly lake. Kids can, fairly safe, ingress into the water. It looks pretty level. It's not a huge drop off or anything like that. There's a bit of leaf matter here, but access into it wouldn't be too hard, and kids seem to be enjoying canoes and kayaks and the same out there. I think you can go fishing if you wanted to. There's a nice jetty here, obviously, to test that out. Yeah, don't know about snorkeling, but certainly getting into the water, don't know about that. It's a bit cool. But certainly there are activities that kids can do out here. And it's a relatively large park as well, so plenty of space for 100, probably even a couple, even with 100 people, there's probably even space between vans. It's quite a large area.
Obviously do
wakeboarding and obviously a boat ramp here as well, so you can do a few boating activities. Skiing.
Yeah, water skiing.
4 laps per boat. Okay, so some rules there in regards to how you use the lake. Water refill station if you want to pump up your
want to refill your bottle?
Yeah, clean it. Kitchen rules.
Do you have a kitchen?
Yep. And a stage there, so for Sharon to have her performances.
Yeah.
Do a yoga, calisthenics.
Yeah, right. Because I'm into yoga.
Aerobics.
I wonder what these are here. Are they some form of accommodation or something?
Accommodation, future accommodation, maybe. Or information areas, or
Maybe.
significant camp kitchens. A bit like the RAC parks in WA, maybe.
Oh.
Grain store over here. Shearer's hut over there, so maybe it's
accommodation.
it's either accommodation or just a
No, it's got bunk beds in it.
representation of. No, maybe.
No, it's got bunk beds.
Otherwise, representation of a bygone era.
Yeah, which they've actually then turned into something. That's a shearer's hut.
Love to be staying in those silos. Different type of accommodation.
That is really cool. Something different. It's unique.
Thank goodness we got a caravan.
Cheers.
Cheers for making it to Lake Lascelles.
Very nice.
Into our 12th week and we haven't killed each other. We got close. I know it's not over. It's the effect, isn't it?
Yeah.
Because once it's gone, it's going to get cold.
Mm-hmm.
And the mozzies will come out.
And we're going into the caravan.
Yep. Because we can't have heaters on.
Of course we can.
Got to minimise the use of power.